Computer Innovations by Andrew Kapuros. Here's my social contract. Side note, if it has this symbol on the page, that means I used AI to help me make it. We will start off with define the problem and investigate problem. So for the problem, basically we were told to use AI as a benefit to create something that will benefit us in our daily lives. This will be an app. Using our knowledge of computing, we will collaborate with AI to basically create this app that will help us in something we choose. Here's my goals for this project. Next, we have planning solution. Here are some of the variables that I would think I would be using during this project. So first, I investigated AIs. This is basically just me saying, I just went online, looked at different AIs, and saw what they could do for me. So here, as an example, I said ChatGPT and Gemini. I decided to go with ChatGPT because I just thought it was easier and I was more familiar with it. Now I'm researching AI inventions. This is stuff like DALL-E, ChatGPT, deepfakes, AI music, and AI in video games. This is basically just giving me an idea of what are the possibilities that AI can do for me. Next, I asked ChatGPT to give me some ideas for what I could make. And in these ideas, one of them was an AI-powered vintage clothing curator. And this kind of gave me the idea to make an AI outfit builder. So kind of straying off a little bit from what from what ChatGPT gave me. And this is the choice I ended up making. Here are some impacts of the innovation. Here you can see some of the positives. Here you can see some of the negatives. And then here you can see some of the unintended. This is basically just me saying, what can I do with this app, how it will help me, and how will it help other people. Next we have design solution. Here you can see the flow chart. This is basically just me mapping out what I think the code will look like. Here you can see one that AI made. Here's one that I made myself. Here's the pseudocode. This is basically just what the flow chart is saying, except in word-based form. Here's the Gantt chart. This is just me mapping out what I did on what days. So here you can kind of see the list of items for each part of the presentation and when I did them. Next we have the first iteration of create and test. Here's the code in progress. Here's the code working. Basically what this code did is it just lets you input different names for clothing. Here I'm just spamming random letters to get it done quickly, but it just let you type in all the names of each clothes for jackets, shirts, pants, and shoes, and it lets you kind of click on one for each spot, and at the end it would save one of your outfits as shown. Just like that. Here's the debug chart. Since this was made by AI, when I made the code, there was really nothing that didn't work. Pretty much everything was how I wanted it to be. Here are the prompts I used for ChatGPT. And here's the final code. I added a little bit of it. Here you can kind of see what it does. Line 1 through 3 imports Pygame and other stuff for what's needed for this code. 6 through 9 sets clothing categories. 12 through 16 defines screen states. 19 through 22 initialize Pygame. 25 through 38 it's just a GUI for a button class with a draw method. And 41 through 61 a list of example questions. 64 79 prompts user to input 5 items per category. That's what I was explaining before. 82 through 88 creates a row, a filter button. This just it didn't really work, but what it was supposed to do was it was supposed to let you say, okay, I want to see all the jackets, I want to see all the pants, and it would just show those. But yeah, 888 adds a save button, as you saw before. 91 through 112, it just creates the categories. Yeah, 115 through 128 adds the go to input button. It moves the data entry. You can't really see it through the GUI, but it's kind of just moving all the options. 131 through 134 variables to manage input and display to help screen response. This was just fixing the GUI. 137, 192 Pygame event handler. It just handles mouse and keyboard movements. That's all it does. And then 144 through 249, it just adds an intro screen. 251 through 252 properly quits Pygame. And then here's kind of what I added. There was an intro screen, and then it lets you ask a question. The only thing is you can't ask a question that's not listed, because then it would have to use the web, which I can't really do through Trinket, but this is as good as we can get. Here's the debug chart. Again, since it was made using AI, there wasn't too much that was really needed to be fixed because AI was able to make it. The only really thing is I needed to make sure that AI was able to get the GUI right, because sometimes it would scrunch it down or embulge it too much to where you couldn't really see everything. Maybe it didn't really do exactly what I asked, so maybe with the list, if I asked it to give more responses, it wouldn't add the answers to those responses. Here's what the code does so far. It gets fashion help, create an outfit, browse clothing by category, click on items or select one for each type, and save outfits. Challenges, like I said, really just making sure that AI really gave me exactly what I was asking for. Just making sure that the GUI was properly made, that none of the pieces of code was something that I didn't ask for. Next steps, I wanted to fix the UI and actually add some more stuff to it. So I wanted to add the ability to do a fashion quiz. Here's iteration 2. Idea for iteration 2: create a style test. This test will basically just have a couple simple questions, and through it, it will give you the response of your style is this, your style is that. Here's the prompts I gave to AI. Here's what AI gave back to me. So there's another prompt, and this is basically just what it gave me. Here's the finished code. Pretty much the first part of it is pretty much the same. Looking through this, there wasn't really much that was added differently. Same here. One thing that was kind of different was 91 through 121, the functions that handled. This basically just had to be tweaked a little bit. Same thing with the variables for help input box, which is 131 through 134. 137 through 124 runs the game window continuously until the user quits handle. This is for the quiz. It will keep running. It won't close it out and take you back to the screen until you type something at the end of it, and it will show that as a response. And then again, 24 through 25, 49 through 52 cleans up and exits the app. This is the code in work. And as you can see, it gives you a response, and it tells you press any key to return home. Here's the flowchart. Again, since it's AI, nothing really had to be fixed. Here's a list of code. You can see the defined functions, the initialized variables, used operators, and used booleans. Now we're used through this code. challenges. Basically, I didn't really have much challenges. Again, it was really just making sure that the code worked and it was what I was asking for. I didn't really add too much for the second iteration, so yeah. Next steps, we were to skip iteration 3, so I was just to clean up and move on to evaluate project. Here's some people evaluating my project. My reflection, after I reflected, basically, I saw that I just needed to add more information than was just on the sides. So I added side notes that were basically able to tell me what else I could say instead of what you could see. Here's what I evaluated to other people, and here's my self-evaluation. And that's it. Thank you for watching.